today's part, we're going to be having a look at Marvel Legends Face Off Hulk and Leader 2-pack. Of all the Marvel Legends Face Off series, I think I was the most ecstatic to get these guys. By far, this, in my opinion, is the definitive Hulk. I mean, I can't say enough nice things about it, but I will get into that as we open up the package. As you can see, both Hulk and Leader are featured on the front. Now, there was also a variant released of these as well, which I also have. Due to time constraints, though, I probably will end up reviewing those separately. Just because we have two figures here. I'm still sadly on the clock of 10 minutes, so I can't really get too much into detail. But I will do the variant on its own, so stay tuned for that. But the variant basically had the same kind of Hulk. It was a little different in the color of the pants, and then his mouth was open. The Leader was the more different of the figure because it had the original long head version of Leader. But as I said, I will get into a review of those later. Right now, looking at the initial 2-pack. On the back of the package, we have stats on both Hulk and Leader. And just a bit of a read up here. It says, never has gamma radiation changed two people so drastically or so differently. Caught in its blast, one man was imbued with brawn while other was given increased brain capacity. But it wasn't the misunderstood hero, the monstrous Hulk, who must match his strength against the superintelligence of the villainous Leader and his intricate plots. Never before has such a green-skinned grudge grown to such gigantic proportions, and as each of the Leader's plans are foiled, the world will never know the debt they owe to the jade giant known as the Hulk. So there you go. The other figures in the wave, there is the Leader and Hulk, as I mentioned, and then there's the variants. So we have the open mouth Hulk and the longer head Leader, which I actually prefer this Leader over the ass head Leader that we've got in this pack. There is also a Daredevil and Kingpin, which I didn't actually pick up either one of those or the variants. And then there is the Captain America and Red Skull. I've already done a review of the Captain America Red Skull. I also did have the variant, which I will do a review of also. But there you have all the figures in the wave. I believe this is Series 1. Yep, this is Series 1 of the Marvel Legends Face Off. And what I'll do is I'll open up the packaging on these two figures, and I will give you a closer look at both the Hulk and the Leader, so stay tuned.
Hulk love figure of himself.
This is an absolutely gorgeous set. As I pointed out before when I was doing the packaging review of the figure, this is by far my favorite Hulk of any figure ever released of the Hulk. I'll get into him in a second. I'll do the less interesting Leader. He has his charm. Get a good look at the face here. Now, by far, I mean, this is the more current version of Leader with the kind of the giant brain going on here. Kind of reminds me of the were they Andorians? I don't think that was the name of them, but the aliens from the very first Star Trek episode with Captain Christopher Pike. And there were these white aliens. They were all played by females as well, but they had these giant brain heads kind of thing. I always found Leader reminded me of them. Green of, obviously different, like green, but I like the coloring of his suit. He's got the nice orange with what looks like a brownish black. Very, very nice. The one thing I don't like about the figure is that his head doesn't seem like it can sit completely up. And it looks like he's just permanently looking down kind of thing. You can't really raise his head any higher than that. Kind of looks like he's got a green afro. What's going on, Jav Tookie? But he has articulation in the arms, the shoulders, elbows. He's got some in the forearm. He's got movement in his hands. And he's got articulation in his fingers. But because of the way his hands were sculpted, they were sculpted with like a hook finger. Kind of looks a little weird. A little bit weird there. He's got articulation in the waist. Nothing in his torso, though. Articulation in his legs. 2 points in the knee. He has a rotation in his legs. bends at the toe, or at the foot, and no articulation in the toe. Not necessarily a big deal for me, but there you have Leader. Definitely not the reason why I picked up this set. I think the Leader is the little weaker of the two figures. And you know what? I'll just have him sit down. And we'll look at the Hulk, because really the Hulk is the saving grace for this set. As I mentioned before, this is by far the definitive Hulk. Some people, if you ask them, they say the definitive Hulk is Marvel Legends Series 1 Hulk. To be honest, I have never gotten into that Hulk at all. I just didn't like the shading in his eyes and everything. But if you ask me, this is the definitive Hulk. I mean, you can't find a Hulk, in my opinion, better than this Hulk. It's very reminiscent of the 1980s Hulk cartoon and the old 80s. See, maybe that's the thing. Like, this is, to me, the definitive 80s Hulk. This is the way Hulk always should have looked. But, I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so, I mean, I have a soft spot for anything that's reminiscent of that. But he has articulation in his head. Not really a ball joint. There's a ball joint, but you can't really do too much because of the way his neck is sculpted. There is articulation, a ball joint in his shoulders. There is a joint in his elbow, in his hand, and he also has it in his fingers. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have articulation in his knuckle area either, which would have been better because then you could have done a fist, but instead you can only kind of do that. He has articulation in the waist, nothing in the torso. I'm not too angry about that, because if there was articulation in the torso, it would ruin the really nice sculpt on his chest. There is articulation in the leg, in the knee, and also 2 points in the foot, left to right and top to bottom, and there's articulation in the toe. And it looks like the Hulk bruised his toe because it's like a darker color there. Probably a little error with the paint application there. Nonetheless, though, and there's a nice detailed back shot. There's the Hulk's ass there. Nice detailing on the ball and on the Hulk's back. Really, really nicely detailed. Again, I would say, I know some people might argue this point, but again, if you ask me, this is the definitive Hulk. I mean, if you want a figure, and unfortunately this set is a little more expensive, but I definitely would say pick up this Hulk. This is the figure you want to go with if you want to get a Hulk. This set, I think, will set you back about $40 or $50 now on eBay, unless you can find a deal. But I will, like I said, do a review on the variant as well, so you guys can see the difference of them. But I'll wrap this video up here. There we have a toy spot. I'll bring him in as well. There we have a toy spot on the Hulk and Leader 2-pack from Marvel Legends Face Off. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.